Vahguru, 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 Guru, Vahguru, 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 Vahguru. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਮੰਦਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾ ਆਖੀਏ ਪੜ ਅੱਖਰ ਇਹੋ ਬੁਝੀਏ ਮੂਰਖੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਾ ਲੁਝੀਏ। We always remember this last line, ਮੂਰਖੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਾ ਲੁਝੀਏ, but we forget the previous line, ਮੰਦਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾ ਆਖੀਏ ਪੜ ਅੱਖਰ ਇਹੋ ਬੁਝੀਏ। There are foolish people, no doubt. That's why Maharaj says, ਮੰਦਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾ ਆਖੀਏ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ there are, but we don't speak that, okay, this person is murkh. What our job is, if there is a foolish person, don't argue with them. Don't talk much with them. They are foolish. You can't do anything about it. The people who are foolish, they are foolish. Our job in the path of Gurmat, in the path of spirituality, is to have a prem love for everybody. We can tell people, we can give them the message, but the arguments and all, if we know the other person is foolish, Maharaj says, don't argue. Murkhe nalna lujiye. But don't say others that that person is foolish and all. But there are foolish people. Mat Rab wallo hi udda di ona di. By nature, they are like that. It's their karams. You can't do anything, much anything. Only Vaheguruji can change them. This is the whole aspect Guru Sahib is telling us. GuruNanak Dev Ji in this war, Mahalla Pehla Slok, we are on Ang 143. Maharaj says, Machi taru kya kare, pankhi kya akash. The job of machi, as in fish, is to swim. That's what it is, the nature of machi. The fish's nature is to swim. It can be a deep water, like an ocean, right? But it's just going to swim. Same about the bird. Bird is going to fly. It's just very nature of the bird. Very nature of the bird is to fly. Bird is not going to measure what is the length and the breadth and the height of Akash, as in the sky. Same about fish. Fish is not going to measure the depth of the water. It's a nature. Just like we walk on the street, we walk on the street. All the time, we are not measuring what is the length and the breadth of the road or the path which we are taking. It's very nature. पत्थर पाला क्या करे, खुसरे क्या करवास. Every June Maharaj has created, every species Maharaj has created, 84 lakh June, 8.4 million species. They have their own characteristics, they have their own nature. For example, it's a stone. Stone is just going to be statically steady, sit there at one place, unless somebody hits him. But even if it is cold or hot, it does not matter to the stone. Its very nature is to be steady out there. Patthar pala. Cold cannot do anything. Cold season cannot do anything to the stone. It's cold or hot. Patthar is going to, the stone is going to stay there. Khusre, it's basically a defect. There is some by birth, right? Some babies have the defect on their, where they are neither they considered as male or female. Now there are surgeries available where they can make them one-sided based on the hormones. But in the old days, even in the present days, there are some babies which are born like that, but then they cannot reproduce. They cannot participate in reproduction. That's why they never get married. It's a very nature. This is how Vaiguruji created them. It's not their fault, right? That's what Maharaj is saying. Khusre kya karvas. They cannot have a family life. It is the way they are made based on their current previous karams, based on the defects, genetically defects, right? Kutte chandan laiye piso kutti tat. If you put a sandalwood oil on the kutta, on the dog, some beautiful oil, sandalwood oil, why they are using the chandan? Because chandan is very expensive. Chandan da lep lagda hai, it's not an oil, it's like a paste, right? Maharaj is saying if you are putting a paste of a sandalwood, right, chandan the paste, if you put it, mostly they use this paste on the idols and all that stuff, right? But if you put that paste on a dog, dog is still gonna be a dog. You cannot change the very nature of dog. Dog is gonna bark, dog is gonna sniff. It's a very nature. Piso kutti tat. It is still gonna behave like a dog, whether it is a dog or a male dog or a female dog. Same way, whatever the nature is, whatever the characteristic of that species is, they are going to be like that. Bola je samjhaiye, padiye simrit path. If somebody cannot hear, right, they cannot hear, they have a defect in their ears, the hearing defect, they're disabled, right? They can't do anything about it. Now these days we have some kind of treatment for them, but mostly by default, by birth, if somebody is born like a disability is there, they can't do anything about it. Even if you are reading the part or the religious scriptures in front of them, they're not gonna hear it. Does not matter. Maybe you can do Simran in front, the loud Simran in front of them, they'll not be able to hear because they have a hearing defect. Similarly, for the blind person, somebody is born blind, anda chanan rakhiye, dive bale 50. Even if there are 50 lamps next to a blind person, they're not still going to see. They're not going to see the light. This is again by default how Vaiguruji created them. This is all Vaiguruji's creation. There's nothing good or bad in that. This is how the creation is. Chone soina paiye chun chun khave kas. Chone as in the herd of a cattle, the group of, let's say, cows or any cattle. Can they, if you are putting the gold to the group of cattle, they are not going to change their nature. The very nature of the cows is they are going to eat grass. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to change. Nothing is going to change. It's only human being, right? When you put them in beautiful clothes or they do, some makeup and everything, their personality changes and everything. But normally, whatever the species are, the way they were made, that they are doing that. It's a creation of Vaheguru. लोहा मारन पाइए टहे ना होए कपास. Iron, you can beat the iron, maybe you can create iron sheets, but it is still gonna be hard. Loha maran paiye. If you even, beating the iron with a hammer, making the sheets out of it also, but it is not gonna become like a cotton. The very nature of iron is, it is gonna be hard, brittle, right? That's the nature of the metal, iron metal, right? Maharaj is saying same thing about the fool, about the murk. Murkhe nalna lujiye. Nanak murk eh gun, bole sad vinas. Bole sad sada vinas. Nanak murk eh gun. Same about the foolish person. They are going to talk useless. Don't waste your time arguing and everything. Sometimes it's better to be quiet rather than arguing. But what we do, we try to argue with everybody because of our ego, because of our arrogance. We say if we have to answer, we have to reply. But Maharaj says, Nanak Murak eh gun. And they are the gun, the very characteristic of a Murak person, a foolish person is Bole Sada Vinas. Whatever foolish person is going to speak, whatever they say, right? Whatever comes out of their mind, it's just going to be bakwas, foolish things, useless things, nonsense stuff. It's not going to be any sense. Mahalla pehla, keha kanchan tutta sar, agni gand pae lohar. Now Maharaj is talking about how the relationship is between various things, how the relationship happens with the various things. What is this reasoning of the relationship? This is a beautiful Shabad. I want you guys to be fully focusing on this. This is very beautiful. Mahalla pehla, keha kanchan tutta sar. Kanchan is gold. Sar is loha, as in the iron. Keha kanchan tutta sar. Agni gand pae lohar. When the iron is broken into pieces, or there are two sets of iron pieces. Similarly, about the gold, if there are two pieces and you want to join them, right? Any metallic thing, if you want to join them, the best thing to use to join them is fire. Agni Gand, the bond between the two pieces can happen because of the fire. Without the fire, because if the metal is not melt, you cannot have a bond. Agni Gand Pae Lohar. The Lohar will create that connection between the two. Lohar as in the person who is for the gold, it can be a goldsmith, right? I think iron is called, called blacksmith, right? They can put a connection between the two pieces with the fire. Can they gori seti tutta patar Putti Gand Pave Sansar. Gori, as in you can call it a wife or a girl. Gori Seti Tutta Patar. So when, for example, if there is a problem, they always say this in Punjabi culture, that, oh, if the husband and wife, they have problem between each other, they argue a lot, their connection is not there, right? The chemistry is not there. They say if they will have kids, then the connection will be there. And it happens also. Maharaj is saying, Putti Gand Pave Sansar. Then the bond can be established between the two if they have children. The children can bring back the connection which was broken between a husband and wife. Raja Manga Ditta Gand Pai. Can they same about the king and the Praja no English ki kande amma?
Nation.
No. The people in the kingdomship, their relationship is, if the king is asking something or the people are asking something from the king and they give them, there is a connection between them. In the old days, what used to happen, even today, right? For example, during the COVID time, the president announced, every country's prime minister or president, they announced, okay, since people are not able to work, we will send them a paycheck. I mean, a few free money, $1,000, $1,500 in their bank account. That was a relationship between the president and the countrymen. Same about the kings. The relationship was, if there is a give and take something, we pay taxes to the government. That's why we have a relationship with the government. Same thing Maharaj is talking about. Raja Manga Ditta Gand Pae Pukhya Gand Pave Je Khaye. Can if somebody is very hungry, koi bada bhukha hai, how their connection will happen with their physical body? If they eat something. If they don't eat something, they will lose the connection. You know, that's why they say, oh, his body is very weak, her body is very weak, because they have not eaten anything. And they Pukhya Gand Pave Ja Khaye Kala Gand Nadiya Mi Chol. Similarly, Kala is when there is a famine. It is called Kala. Then Gand Nadiya Mi Chol. When there is a famine, everything is, there is dry weather and everything. There's no water. There's no food. The fields are dry. The crops are not coming out. But then when the rain will come, then that is a relationship which is made. Gand Priti Mithe Bol. If you have an argument with somebody and if you fight with somebody, but when you will speak mitha, sweet talk, then your relationship can be made, because that's a gand Maharaj is talking about. Maharaj is basically describing the different kinds of bonds with everybody. What are the bonds? Even with our physical body, the bond is with the food. Kende Beda Gand Bole Sach Koe. Kende the spiritual knowledge, the Gyan, the Brahm Gyan, the Gand will come if we Bole Sach Koe. Kende if we read those scriptures, right? Similarly about Gurbani, right? Our relationship with Vaheguru will come if we will read Gurbani, if we'll understand Gurbani, if we'll do Simran. Bani Guru, Guru hai Bani, which Bani Amrit Sare, Gurbani kahe, Sevak Jan Manne, Patak Guru Nistare. Otherwise, there is no relationship with Vaheguru. Without Guru Granth Sahib Ji, we will have no relationship. Just like a husband's relationship with the wife is through the kids. A hungry person's relationship with their physical body is through the food. Similarly, our relationship with Vaheguru is through Gurbani and Naam. Without Gurbani and Naam, we cannot have a relationship with Vaheguru. Moya Gand Neki Sat Hoye. Kende, if somebody dies, people remember them because of their good deeds. उन्होंने जेडे चंगे कर्म कीते हुंदे, people remember them. Kende eighth gand varte sansar. This connection, what is this connection? That connection is prevailing all over the world. There is a connection that connection is prevailing all over the world. Everybody has some sort of a connection. Similarly, for the foolish people, मूर्ख गंड पवे मुंह मार कहते अगर मूर्ख नु सिद्धा करना होवे ना, that's why this can be a controversial, but that's what Maharaj is saying. कहते जड़ा मूर्ख है ना, मूर्ख, they can only realize about their foolishness if they'll get a slap on their face, right? In the world, Maharaj is talking about 10 gun here, but Maharaj says Nanak akhe e vichar sifti gand pave darbar. But if you want to have a connection in the court of Vaheguru, what you have to do is you have to do sift salah. Jisnu bakshe sift salah nanak pache pache. You have to sing the praises. Sifti gand pave darbar. The connection, the bond at the court of Vaheguru is through chanting, through Sas Gira Simran. Vah Guru, Vah Guru. Then only we can have a connection, because it's sukham. The whole Shabad, the idea Maharaj is talking about is that everything Maharaj is talking about, most of the stuff is sukham. Gori, Seti, Tutte Patar, Putti, Gand, Pave, Sansar, Raja, Mange. If you think about it, Maharaj is talking about love. Maharaj is talking about all the sukham things, like hunger. If somebody says, I'm hungry, we cannot see his hungerness. It is sukham. It is subtle. Similarly, Kala, Gand, Nadiyami, Chol. Now there is a famine, it's dry. Now we know, okay, the water will come through the rivers, through the rain, and the famine will go away, right? Bhukhamari khatam ho jayegi. But we don't see it. It's all subtle. All these connections are subtle. We love our parents. We love our kids. What is that connection? It's subtle. There is this attachment. Similarly, to have a connection with Vaheguru, what we need to do is we have to connect with Naam. We have to jap Naam. We have to do Siftsla. Nanak akhe e vichar. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is telling us. Nanak has anchored. That is Guru Nanak Dev Ji is telling us. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying, I am telling you, Nanak akhe e vichar sifti gand pave darbar. And if you want to have a connection with the darbar, if your mind wants to be connected in the darbar, in the court of Vaheguru, the only thing which is needed is sift salah. Vah Guru, sifti gand pave sansar. Otherwise, there will be no gand, no bondage. Similarly, for the Murak, it doesn't have to be a physical slap. If someone can explain, mostly with Vaheguruji's Kirpa, it will be Vaheguruji himself. Muraks will be always, the foolish people will be always talking foolish, unless the realization will come. Mu is face, mar pave. But here Maharaj is talking about, remember, Gurbani is, whenever Gurbani is giving us a message, the message is giving to the mind, right? So yes, people can interpret this as somebody slap, but the real slap is if some major change comes in their life with Vaheguruji's Kirpa. You know, sometimes in Gurbani, Maharaj is talking about that, you know, until or unless we receive the Gala as in the language, that hard language from Vaheguru, we don't learn. Until or unless we don't, oh, keda shabad hai, gali, gala pendi hai. So till the time we will not get that from Vaheguru, we will not learn, right? Otherwise, we'll keep on speaking foolish. We'll keep on destroying other people's mind, right? That's why we always have to realize if somebody around us is speaking useless, Don't be egotistical. Don't try to argue with them. Murkhe nalna lujiye. Just go away from that situation. Because if the change will come, the change will come with Vaheguruji's kripa. Our relationship with Vaheguruji can only happen if we do sift salah. Jisnu Bakshe, sift salah, Nanak, Pachai Pacha. Now the synopsis. Body, Ape Kudrat Saj Khe, Ape Kare Bichar. And they all these things, all the bonds, all the relationship, all the foolish people, everything, all the species of this world has been created by Vaheguruji himself. He himself has created everything. Ik Oankar, one Vaheguru, with the sound of Vaheguru, whole creation has been created. Nobody else created this. If somebody is foolish, it is also by nature. If there is a dog, it is by nature. If there is a metal, there is a nature of a gold, or that nature of gold is that it will be always lustrous. Iron will be always heavy and hard. That's a nature. But who created this? Vaheguruji created everything. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਖੋਟੇ ਇੱਕ ਖਰੇ ਆਪੇ ਪਰਖਣ ਹਾਰ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ similarly there are foolish people, there are manmukhs, there are gurmukhs, just like the coins. You have a counterfeit coin, fake coins, and then there are real coins. And what happens with the counterfeit? If we know they are counterfeit coins, we throw them out. Similarly, our mind based on our karams is going to be judged at the court of Vaheguru. At the court of Vaheguru, our mind is going to be judged based on our karams, unless we have a naam. If we have a naam, then our lekha will not be read, our karams will not be watched. Can they? But if you don't have a naam, then based on the karams, agar khote karam kite hai, if we are doing everything bad, tamoguni stuff, that's how we are going to be judged. Ik khote, ik khare, ape parkhanhar. Vaheguruji has appointed, Vaheguruji has created that process. He is the one who is going to judge us through Taramraj. Khare khajane paiye, khote satiye, baharwar. Can they at the court of Vaheguru, those minds which are good, right, who have naam with them, they will go to the treasure of Vaheguru, meaning they will enter the darbar of Vaheguru. They will go to the mahal of Vaheguru, the house of Vaheguru, Dasam Dwar. They will be with Vaheguruji. The other ones, they will be sent back to the 84 lakh zone. Khote satiye baharwar. They will be sent out, they will be thrown out of the court of Vaheguru. They'll be gone to the Taramkhand back again, right? And that's where they will again have to go through the whole process, 84 lakh June, depending upon their karams. Khare khajane paiye, khote satiye baharwar. Khote, the counterfeits will be thrown out. Khote sachi dargah sutiye. Kis aage kare pukar. Kende in the dargah of Vaheguru, when they will be thrown out, where else they can do? That is the process. They can't do, no, they cannot be, it cannot be changed, even if they do ardas at that point of time, because the time has gone now. They have lost their time. When the time was there, when they still had the swas, ਜਦੋਂ ਸਵਾਸ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਸੀਗੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਵਾਸ ਮਿਲ ਰਹੇ, ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ, ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਰੀਰ ਹੈਗਾ, we have this body. Why we are not realizing the purpose of our life? पढ़ते हैं ना, भई प्रापत मानुक देहुरिया, गोविंद मिलन की एह तेरी बरिया, अवर काज तेरे किते ना काम, मिल साध संगत भज के वाला. Now we don't come to the sangat. Why don't we come? ਅਸੀਂ ਸੱਚੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਚ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ? ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾਮ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਪਦੇ? ਅਗਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਪਾਂਗੇ, then we'll become khote. If we'll not meditate, if we'll not chant, if we'll not have love for Vaheguru, if we have love for this world, then we are khote. we are counterfeit. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ then you will not go to the dargah. ਸੱਚੀ ਦਰਗਾਹ ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ, ਸੱਚਖੰਡ ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ, will not go in ਸੱਚਖੰਡ, will not go in the court of ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ. ਖੋਟੇ ਸੱਚੀ ਦਰਗਾਹ ਸੁੱਟੀ ਹੈ, ਖੋਟੇ ਸੱਚੀ ਦਰਗਾਹ ਸੁੱਟੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਸ ਆਗੇ ਕਰੇ ਪੁਕਾਰ. they cannot complain to anybody. ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਭੱਜ ਪਵੇ ਇਹਾ ਕਰਨੀ ਸਾਰ. ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਭੱਜ ਪੈ, go and follow the Satguru. Satguru ji is inside you. Connect with the Gurbani Guru outside. Come in Sachi Sangat. Chant Vaheguru. Recognize the Satguru inside you. There's only one Satguru, the light of Vaheguru which is inside you. Can they find that? Connect with the Naam. Can they Satgur piche bhaj pave eha karni sar. Can they, this is the summary. Do what Satguru ji is telling you to do. Outside Satguru, Tan Tan Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, Gurbani Guru. Inside Satguru, the light of Vaheguru. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੋ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਕਰ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ only he is the one. Only that Satguru is the one who can change the Murak, who can change the counterfeit, fake person to a real one. Satgur khoteo khare kar kare. Satgur khoteo khare kare. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ he can make the counterfeit to the real, fake coin to a real coin. Satguru has that ability. Just like, when we see a bill, a dollar bill, there is a signature out there. There is a commitment that you're going to get that money. But if that commitment is not there, it is regarded as fake. Same about the check. When we cut a check, if there is a check and there are no signatures, then probably that check will be not treated as valid. But if there is a sign out there, signature out there, date out there, amount out there, then it will be recognized as the real one. So that's the duty of Satguru. When we'll connect with the Satguru Ji inside us by reading the Gurbani, our mind will become genuine, real, lustrous, Jyotsrup by just connecting with Satguru. So Satguru khoteo khare kare. How? Shabad Swaranahar. Through the Naam, through the Shabad, through Anhad Bani. Through the Shabad, mind can become real. Sachi Dargah Maniyan, Sachi Dargah Maniyan, Gurkha Prem Pyar. Can they, the same counterfeit coins, counterfeit minds, the fake minds, the Murak minds, the foolish minds will become, which will be recognized at the Sachi Dargah, because now they have connected with Satguru. They are no longer a Manmukh. They are no longer foolish. They have become Gurumukh now. Sachi Dargah Maniyan. How? Gurkha Prem Pyar. Because they fallen in love with Vaheguru. They have left their useless talk, their babbling, their foolish talk. They have left their Manmukhta, and now they have connected with Vaheguru through the love. Pyar de naal. जिन प्रेम कियो तिन ही प्रभ पायो. सच्ची दरगाह मनियन गुर कै प्रेम प्यार. गनत तिनादी को क्या करे जो आप बख्शे करतार. कहते then why you talk about that they were bad and all? Vaheguru Ji has now made them khare, beautiful, real, genuine, Jyotsrup. क्योंकि महाराज ने उन्होंने बख्श लिया. जो आप बख्शे करतार, they have been forgiven by Vaheguru Ji, by Satguru Ji. कहते हुन उन्हां दी गिनती खोटियां च नहीं आंदी, वो खरे हो गए. This is what happens, right? When the thug, we call him thug, Sajjan thug. He's not a thug anymore. He was a thug. Everybody has heard about the story of Sajjan Thug and Guru Nanak Dev Ji, right? People still call him Sajjan Thug. But he was thug only when he didn't met Satguru Ji, when he didn't met Guru Nanak Dev Ji. But when he met Guru Nanak Dev Ji, when he got Shabad from Vaheguru Ji, Shabad Swaranhar, when he was given the Naam, given the Shabad, after that, from Sajjan Thag, he became Pai Sajjan. Same thing about, and he did a lot of prachar. In the history it comes, then after that he became a pracharak. He did a lot of good things after that, right? But we still remember him as a Sajjan Thak. Maharaj says, Ganat tina di ko kya kare? And they don't consider them bad anymore, right? You can't put a value to them. They are khare now. They are like a gold coin. Jo aap bakshe kartar, because Vaheguru Ji has now forgiven them. Ehi assi magna Guru Pyareo. Everybody do mistakes. Maharaj says, Pullan andar sab ko apul Guru kartar. We all do mistakes. But Vaheguru Ji, remember, Vaheguru Ji will always forgive us. Sanu maaf kar dinde Malik. But how? Coming to the Sachi Sangat, connecting with the Shabad. Then only we can be forgiven. Aao ji, let's do Simran. Wah, listen to your voice. Guru, listen to your voice. Aao ji. Wah, Guru, 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 Wah, ngru va 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 ngru Vaheguru, 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 Guru, Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. Antargat Simran Guru Pyare. Mind should chant, mind should listen. Focus on your tongue. Move your tongue. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਹਮ ਅਵਗੁਣ ਭਰੇ ਏਕ ਗੁਣ ਨਾਹੀ, ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਾੜ ਵਿਖੈ ਬਿਖ ਖਾਈ। ਮਾਇਆ ਮੋਹ ਪਰਮ ਪੈ ਭੂਲੈ, ਸੁਤ ਦਾਰਾ ਸਿਉ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਲਗਾਈ। ਇਕ ਉਤਮ ਪੰਥ ਸੁਣਿਓ ਗੁਰ ਸੰਗਤ, ਤੈ ਮਿਲੰਤ ਜਮ ਤਰਾਸ ਮਿਟਾਈ। ਇਕ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਪਾਠ ਕੀਰਤ ਕੀ, ਗੁਰ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਰਾਖੋ ਸ਼ਰਨਾਈ। ਇਕ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਪਾਠ ਕੀਰਤ ਕੀ, ਗੁਰ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਰਾਖੋ ਸ਼ਰਨਾਈ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਭੁੱਲਾਂ ਚੁੱਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਖਿਮਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ। We'll meet again tomorrow 5 p.m. Pacific। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।